After 3 days and over 1,000 kilometres of the Míle Fáilte 1200K, it's the final stage. Today we ride from the province of Ulster back to County Wicklow in Leinster. Along the way, I will share the 5 things I've learned from this incredible experience.
Go far without hitting the sea. I won't last long without a shot that I need. Red Bull song to get me through the day. And I feel bad 'cause I didn't cry when someone I grew up with died. But I break down every time I'm on the scales. Always the cowboy, never the cow. I hate the way my life turned out. There ain't no ranch to roam inside my room. Now I've got cotton wool for arms. I won't be much use
After averaging 210 miles for the last 3 days, our final day is a mere 124 miles. Weirdly, however, I found that many times the last day of a long ride can be much harder than expected because subconsciously your body senses the finish and begins to shut down. On the positive side, however, the weather is glorious, hardly a cloud in the sky. It's so nice to end the Míle Fáilte this way after the rains of day 1 and day 2. Today's ride will take us from the province of Ulster to Leinster and through the counties of Armagh, Monaghan, Cavan, Meath, Dublin and finally Wicklow. This is the third and final installment of my video series. Today I'll talk about the 5 things I've learned from this 1200k around Ireland. Number 1. It's not about the bike. This is only my third 1200k. The other 2 were Paris-Brest-Paris in 2019 and again in 2023. PBP, if you're not familiar, is this iconic ride through Brittany that is held every 4 years and dates all the way back to 1891. If you experience it once, it's hard not to want to go back. What's truly special is that it seems like all of Brittany, young and old, come out through the night to encourage you to keep going. You really get to experience their culture in a unique and profound way. I often think about how a friend described PBP right after completing his third. I've come to realize that PBP is so much more than an athletic challenge. It is a very special cultural event. The preparation, the qualifying, all the sacrifices are just the cost of entry into a unique cultural experience. The ride is the backdrop, the people and the places are the centerpiece. This is now how I feel about the Míle Fáilte. While I will certainly always remember the ride out to Clifton with sunshine and rainbows, and also the country road with grass down the middle between Enniskillen and Omagh in the setting sun, at the end of the day, my most important memories will be about the people and the culture of Ireland. Riding these distances really seem to give your interactions and observations additional weight. You almost feel like you can see into a culture from your bike. For example, a memory that sticks in my head is one that you could witness anywhere, but it is particularly special to me. On day 3, I was riding by myself somewhere on a country road in Northern Ireland. The twilight after many hours was finally coming to an end. I passed his father and son kicking a ball in their back garden. The son, who was probably 6, takes a shot at his father who was in goal. The father dramatically makes an attempt to save the ball, but allows his son to score. You could see how proud the boy was to score against his father. It was just a lovely little scene, one of many that the Míle Fáilte has given me. Number 2. Sleep is the coin of the realm. For both of my previous 1200Ks, I really struggled to sleep. I'd guess that I got a total of 5 hours for my first PBP and not much more for my second. Because I'm a slow learner, I'm only now beginning to understand the significance of this advice from another multiple PBP finisher. This was the first 1200k that I actively followed his advice. I prioritized sleep, sometimes leaving much later than others, but it meant that I ended up getting a minimum of 5 hours of sleep every night. It is pretty remarkable how refreshed you feel after getting quality sleep. You obviously won't recover 100%, but to me, getting to say 70% really allows you to delay the point at which you can no longer continue. This was my first 1200k that I finished not feeling completely exhausted. I've also noticed that my recovery from the event was a matter of days rather than multiple weeks. Number 3, bike tech has improved. Modern bikes can really add to the enjoyment and recovery from these long rides. I'm what you would call a retro grouch. I like old bikes and up until recently had no interest in modern bikes and componentry. My first PBP was done on a 1995 Calfee with 23mm tyres, and my second was on a 25-year-old steel Landshark, also with the same 23mm tyres. For both rides, I really struggled towards the end. I also had significant numbness and Achilles pain for many weeks after. It turns out that you don't have to suffer this way. Combining the quality rest that I talked about before and a modern bike has been a real breakthrough for me. The real game changer, in my opinion, is wider tyres. I did this ride on 35mm tyres, and it's remarkable how comfortable the ride was, even over the many rough country roads of the Míle Fáilte. I had zero numbness, no Achilles pain, and even my hands were pain-free despite not wearing gloves. It's just a beautiful day, and we're all a little bit giddy because we know the end is near.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Woo! If you're traveling in the snowflake storm, where the rivers freeze and the summer ends, see for me if she's wearing a coat that is warm.
As we get closer to Dublin, the traffic begins to build, and it's all a little bit overwhelming after the quiet country roads of the previous 3 days.
For me, if her hair is hanging low, if it rolls and tumbles all the way to her breast. See for me, if her hair is hanging low.
Number 4, Ireland has changed. It's an obvious statement, I know, but my perspective after leaving here in my early 20s is perhaps different than people who stayed and have lived through these dramatic changes. Much has been said about the demise of 2 key pillars of Irish society. The first is the Catholic Church. When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, the most important and many times the most intimidating figures in my village was the local priest and the Christian brothers at my school. Now, riding through Ireland, you can see that many of the churches have a forlorn energy about them. Strangely, though I'm no longer Catholic, as I get older, I have a certain nostalgia for these old institutions. The second pillar of Irish society that has really begun to struggle in the last 20 years is pubs and drinking culture. When I was young, it was typical for even the smallest villages to have multiple pubs. Now, with drink driving rules and lifestyle changes, which have definitely accelerated since the pandemic, many villages are lucky to have one pub that has managed to survive. Again, on the ride you could see closed pubs everywhere, which to me is particularly sad. On a more positive note, the other thing that I really noticed is the fact that Ireland is now a multi-ethnic and multi-racial society. When I was young, pretty much everyone that I knew was white and Irish. There was just one Chinese family in my large high school, and I did not meet a black person until I was 12 years old. Now it seems like everyone you meet is from somewhere else, and this has really made Ireland an even richer place to live and visit.
Remember me to the one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. She once was a true love of mine. She once was.
Number 5, the Irish have not changed. There's many things I like about the Irish and the society that they have built, but for me, the one outstanding quality is their empathy. Maybe it's their colonial past, their rural heritage, or their storytelling tradition, but there is a fundamental decency here that I don't see in other places. When you meet Irish people, they will ask you questions about who you are and where you're from. There is a genuine interest in others and a pride in being welcoming to outsiders. This empathy, I think, is particularly important in today's world and has manifested itself in a number of ways, both domestically and internationally, and makes me proud to be Irish. In 2015, Ireland became the first nation to vote for same-sex marriage. In the 80s, it was one of the few countries to protest South Africa's apartheid regime, and today, again, it is one of only a handful of nations that openly supports the Palestinian cause. My hope is that Ireland continues to remember its past and to be an example to the larger countries that appear to have lost their way. Finally, I want to thank Audax Ireland for this amazing experience. Riding the Míle Fáilte is easy compared to organising the Míle Fáilte. It must have been exhausting. First thing every morning we were greeted by Paul and Bernard. We then see them later in the day encouraging us to climb some random hill. And then later at the hotel they'd make sure we had our rooms and our drop bags. I can't wait to return in 4 years. Thank you so much. Join our next BikeEveryHood club ride where we'll ride the 6 iconic lanes and alleys of San Francisco. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.